Hi guys, today we're going to talk about Birmingham, Alabama. If you're moving to Birmingham, Alabama and you're not sure where you want to move, this will be a great video, probably one of the most important videos to watch while you're deciding on where to move and as you get to know and study the Birmingham, Alabama area. Hey, if this is your first time to this channel, living in Birmingham, Alabama, then please hit subscribe, tap the bell for notifications so you'll be the first to learn about the current market in Birmingham. I'm Dana, and my team and I get calls from people every day just like you looking to make their move into the Birmingham, Alabama area or to move from one area of Birmingham to the other. If you are looking to move in the next 9 days or 90 days, we would love to hear from you. Please look below and email us, text or call us, or better yet, schedule a Zoom because we would love to meet you in person. We love to help and we would love to make this a smooth transition, a smooth move for you and your family. Today we're going to go over the top 5 choices of suburbs according to niche.com. And they are Mountain Brook, Vestavia Hills, Homewood, Hoover, and Pelham. Those are your top 5 according to niche.com that a lot of people move to. So Birmingham, Alabama is basically in central Alabama, and we refer to all of that as Birmingham, Alabama, even though Birmingham does have its own city limits. And each of these suburbs that I mentioned, they are their own city with their own city council. Basically, you can live and work in each city. You do not have to travel outside of those cities. These are all big cities with good populations, great size, popular schools, well-liked, and that also rank very high up in rankings. So let's look at the map. We're going to start there so you can get an idea, an outlay of the Birmingham area and where these suburbs lay. So today I'm going to go over the top 5 suburbs according to niche.com. And we're going to start right here to show you this is the Birmingham area. Let me get my marker going. So you've got Birmingham right here. And the top 5 that we're going to be looking at, they are all located either right next to Birmingham or close to it. So we're going to be looking at Mountain Brook right here. That is the number 1 on the list. We're also going to be looking at Homewood. This also borders Birmingham. And we'll be looking at Vestavia as well as Hoover. And we have Pelham right here. So if you'll notice, all of these cities, all of them except for Mountain Brook, travel along 65 and 31. So this is our interstate, 65, I-65. Well-kept interstate. It travels all the way down. Basically, it travels through the middle of Alabama from top to bottom. So there's your interstate there. I'm going to show you also Highway 31. So Highway 31 was the main way through Alabama before the interstate system was developed. Let me clear all that out so you can see this. So let's talk about Mountain Brook first. It is number 1 on the top 5 on niche.com. And it also boasts number 2 in the school system throughout Alabama. And then it's also in the top 250 schools nationally. So Mountain Brook is a very affluent area. It's divided up into 3 village areas. You have Crestline Village, you have English Village, and Mountain Brook Village. All of those are places that you would want to go and shop, places that have restaurants. Some of those will be local flavors that you wouldn't find anywhere else. Mountain Brook was developed to be a very beautiful, winding roads with trees. You've got a lot of old growth trees there. So Mountain Brook's been around for a long time. You don't have really very many new builds in Mountain Brook. It's older homes. They have been renovated. Occasionally there will be a lot where they tore down a home and built a new home. The developers were Robert Jemison and his son. And so the design was for it to be a place to come to and stay and not a place to drive through. All right, so with Mountain Brook, you have the 3 villages that I mentioned. You have English Village. Let me mark that for you. It's going to be in this area right here. And it is right off of Highway 280 and Red Mountain Expressway. Very close to downtown. That is English Village. It's just a small village.
You will also be able to travel down. So Cahaba Road, this road right here, will travel through to the next village. So let me move us up to that. I'm going to erase this. We'll move us up from English Village. Right here, here's English Village. We'll travel down Cahaba Road and we'll be headed to Mountain Brook Village. So I'm going to circle all of that. All of this is Mountain Brook Village. Also very close to 280. And if you'll notice, Birmingham Zoo and the Birmingham Botanical Gardens are right there. So the next village, or the last village I'm going to point out to you, is Crestline Village. It is going to be on the other side of Mountain Brook. So Crestline is going to be this area right here. And I mentioned that Cahaba Road takes us through Mountain Brook on the west side of Mountain Brook, but Country Club Road runs on one side of Mountain Brook. And of course, you've got a large country club. That one is the Country Club of Birmingham. So you golfers out there, you're going to really like that option. This one is Crestline Village, and it's also right next to an area called Crestline Heights. Here is the other. Mountain Brook has its own golf course right there, and it's called Mountain Brook Club. So that's a brief overview of Mountain Brook. All right, so one last thing to know about Mountain Brook is that it is only about 4 miles from UAB. It is about 7 miles from the airport. Now, even though it's just 4 miles and 7 miles, it will still take you a little bit of time to get to both of those because you are going to be winding through the streets. There's not a straight shot there. So next, we're going to look at Homewood. So in Homewood, you've got 3 villages there too. We're going to mark those out real quick for you so you get an idea of Homewood. So Homewood has an area called Edgewood, and that's a very popular place to raise your kids. It's also very walkable. So Homewood also is high. I think it's number 1 on a walking score. So there's some other lists that Homewood hits high on or number 1 on, and that's walking. So you could buy in Edgewood, and your child could walk to Edgewood Elementary, could even walk to the middle school. The high school, everyone will be driving to, but Edgewood Elementary, you would walk. The middle school, you would walk. So let me get you in a little closer in so I can show you where Edgewood is. So the first area of Homewood that I point out to you is Edgewood. So here's Edgewood Elementary right here. And it's really right in the middle of homes. You actually have to turn it to some homes to get to that elementary school. And basically, Oxmoor Road and Salter Road encompass Edgewood, but the closer you get to the elementary, the more walkable it is for you. Broadway Street, which is right here, this basically goes to the middle of Edgewood. So I would consider the walkable area of Edgewood to be pretty much anything around this area. I might be a little bit broad there. But from Edgewood, you also elementary, and from all of these areas right here, you can also walk to the village of Edgewood, and that is going to be on Oxmoor Road. It has ice cream shop, one of the best barbecue places. It's got several other restaurants in that village. Really quaint. A lot of people love it. Oxmoor Road is a road that connects the west side of Homewood over to the east side of Homewood. So let's look at West Homewood. West Homewood will give you some more affordable housing. In Edgewood, your housing typically starts at about $500,000 and up. If you find anything below that, it is usually a pretty significant fixer-upper. There is a lot of people that will buy if they buy a home for $350,000 or so, it's usually to tear down the house and build a new one. So those homes in Edgewood can go for over $1 million. Especially the closer it is to the village and to the school, the more value is placed on that land. So where we're coming to now is West Homewood, and you can find homes that would be around $300,000. It will be a small cottage. And sometimes you can find homes that may be around $250,000. I've seen some recent sales that were on the $250,000 mark. And we will definitely discuss that in another video, I'm going to do separate videos on each of these suburbs. Right now, we're just doing basically covering the basics on each one of these. So West Valley will cover one side of West Homewood. And then you've got Oxmoor Road that carries you over to West Homewood. You would have basically anything around here is going to be what I would consider West Homewood, as long as it is in that 35209 zip code. The elementary for this particular area will be in this West Homewood area. So you could also walk to that school. That school is called Hall Kent Elementary. It's a very well-liked school. I've heard some people say they like it because it's very diverse. So that's very walkable there. And again, I am starting to see some homes be torn down and new homes be put there. But to me, I always think that West Homewood is a very affordable area. What I really like about West Homewood is that Homewood City has developed a master plan for that area. And so you can expect to see, you are already seeing what I would call the village of West Homewood. This is Patriot Park. It's one of Homewood's parks. And across the street is some villages, or not villages, but some shops in that village. And so all of this is pretty walkable, and Homewood has a plan to make it even more so. So really, this is a beautiful area that's going to continue to develop. You've got GM Pizzeria, very popular place for Homewood. You've got Seeds Coffee Company. A lot of coffee shops around Birmingham do sell coffee made from Seeds Coffee Company. And that's a locally homegrown business that started. So West Homewood is very quaint. I like it a lot. I always enjoy driving through Homewood. Next, we're going to travel to the other side of Homewood. So the other side of Homewood is basically bordered, or Highway 31 cuts through it, and then Highway 280 borders it as well. And one other border would be, it's not a border, but Lakeshore Parkway runs through it. And then Homewood continues across the street. So Homewood has developed several parks. It's got great soccer fields. And the next village we're talking about is Mayfair and Hollywood. So if you're looking at Hollywood, it's going to be pretty much in this area right here. This is what I would consider Hollywood. And then another area is called Mayfair. It's going to be basically this area right here. And then, of course, over here, we discussed Edgewood. And then across, outside of our map area, we discussed West Homewood. So you have several areas that they're basically not, Homewood is its own city, but you've got several areas that we use to locate where you are in Homewood. And then Homewood High School is right here. That is going to be along Lakeshore Parkway, which is why I said your child would drive to the Homewood High School. Homewood also is home to Samford University, a very large Christian private school. A lot of children, a lot of folks that I know have graduated from there. So that is also located in Homewood. Okay, so next we're going to cover Vestavia Hills. Vestavia Hills is number 2 on the list. I skipped it and went to Homewood just because Mountain Brook and Homewood border the city of Birmingham. The Vestavia Hills area, those houses will range anywhere from $350,000 to a couple of million and more. And you have some beautiful views. Vestavia Hills is exactly where it is. It's in the hills, and you will have some beautiful mountain views. And so when you're factoring in Vestavia Hills being number 2, keep in mind that Liberty Park counts as Vestavia Hills as well. And Liberty Park is its own large development. So it was a planned development. That is something else we'll talk about in a separate video. But that has a lot more new homes. It is not mid-century style homes because that was developed later on, and you'll have a lot of new homes that you can pick from. You'll have some new neighborhoods that are being developed there. They have brought in a lot of shops. So Vestavia Hills covers Liberty Park as well. So let me take you over to that so you can see how it is in relation. Okay, so Vestavia Hills are number 2 on the list that we're now covering. So Vestavia Hills is bordered by I-65, You also have Highway 31 cutting through the middle of it. Here's the center of the city right here. You also have a really nice country club, very popular, Vestavia Country Club. And so Vestavia is going to encompass several areas. You've got proper Vestavia. You also have an area that we call Cahaba Heights. Cahaba Heights was annexed into Vestavia a couple of decades ago. And then you also have Liberty Park. Let's see if I can locate Liberty Park for you. Yeah, so Liberty Park's going to be pretty much in this area right here. I'm doing a rough drawing right here. So it does border some parts of Vestavia, but Liberty Park is its own development. It was developed long after Vestavia Hills was built out. So you'll have a lot of new homes there. You'll have, there's another country club there called Overton, and a gated neighborhood in that neighborhood as well. That map shows you where Vestavia Hills is. It is going to be further out from Birmingham and from the airport. You can consider having about a 15 to 20 minute drive to UAB, which is the center of downtown. You would be looking at about a 15 to 25 minute drive to the airport. It really depends on where you live in Vestavia. Okay, so now I'm going to review Hoover. Now, Hoover is like Vestavia. It covers a lot of ground. And also like Vestavia, it has a separate area that feels like and is called a whole different area, and that's Greystone. So Hoover and Vestavia both have cities that cover a lot of ground. They also both have newer developments that are really set apart from the original city. So let's review the main part of Hoover, and stay tuned because I'll tell you a couple of secrets that we know as locals, but you may not know if you're moving into Birmingham. Okay, so let's talk about Hoover. So as you travel down 65, if you're leaving Birmingham and you're traveling down 65, you're going to come through Homewood. You're going to come through a little corner of Vestavia, and then you're going to get off at, you can get off at several exits, but basically Highway 31 also runs through a portion of Hoover, and you've got several ways to get off of I-65 to get into Hoover. Now 459, 65 will go all the way to 459. And I just passed it. So this is 459, and 459 is that interstate that surrounds Birmingham. So we're going to look at, I'm going to circle where you should expect Hoover. So here's Hoover right here. And Hoover basically comes all the way over here pretty much. And then it, keeps on going back here to the back. There's the Hoover Mat. This is where they have that Explore playground. And here's one of the secrets that people don't know about Hoover because it's not its own city. There's an area, it is on Shades Mountain. We have a mountain that we call Shades Mountain, and this area is called Bluff Park. It is a best kept secret, so to speak. It feels like you're in the country, but you are in Hoover, and it's separated away from all the hustle and bustle of the busy highways, such as Montgomery Highway, which is also 31. It has its own village. Bluff Park has its own little village, actually 2 little villages. Very quaint area. A lot of people that drive through Bluff Park are amazed they didn't know about it and really like it. So Bluff Park is probably your closest. If you're trying to work out of downtown Birmingham, Bluff Park is going to be your closest part of Hoover to, it's going to be an easy shot to I-65. You've got a couple of ways to get there. And it has its own schools. It has its own elementary. That elementary will feed into the Hoover high schools. Hoover does have 2 high schools, Spain Park and Hoover. So we just went over one portion of Hoover. And Hoover has things like the Hoover Met, but you also have another part of Hoover called Greystone. And it's not its own city, but it is its own development. And you do have you have Greystone Golf and Country Club. Greystone is a newer development, started in the 90s, and usually your homes there will start for a garden home around $400,000. You have, there's some homes in a gated area. You've got Shoal Creek. So Shoal Creek is a gated community. But basically, to get to Greystone, you will travel along Highway 280. And Highway 280 is both hated and loved. So a major con of being in the Greystone area is traveling 280. So 280 is very well developed, very high-end, affluent area. You do have all ranges of prices going down 280, but Greystone, I wanted to point out, is separated away from Hoover, but it is Hoover, and it also feeds into the Hoover schools. We've got Greystone Elementary. Close to here will be Spain Park. So that covers our brief review of Hoover. Okay, so the next area, really the last on our top 5, is Pelham. So here's Pelham right here, the city of Pelham. And Pelham borders Hoover. So to give you an idea, this is the Hoover Met right here. And you're traveling down 31 from Hoover, and you're going to pass through the border to Pelham. So 31 runs all through Pelham, and Interstate 65, I-65 takes you to Pelham as well. And so Pelham has its own school system. It is its own city, and it's been very well thought of for a long time. You will have more of a travel time to downtown Birmingham, and you will have traffic. So I mentioned that 280 is definitely one of those highways that takes you 15 minutes to get 1 mile down the road, maybe even more time than that. Well, Pelham is now also experiencing some of that with the Highway 31 and 65. South of Birmingham has been very popular for a long time, many decades. And so you're really seeing a lot of development going on, has been going on for a long time. And that means you've got a population growth. So south of Birmingham has a good bit of traffic leaving Birmingham, going home, and Pelham is one of those cities that people are going home to. So if you are a traditional worker and you are going to work at 8 and you're coming home at 5, somewhere around that, you're typically going to be in that rush hour traffic. So Pelham has tremendous parks, has an amazing tennis complex. And by the way, every city that I mentioned has pickleball. I didn't mention that, but that's become a very popular pastime for a lot of people in Alabama and around the United States. So just know that if you are a pickleball lover, you will not suffer moving here. You'll have plenty of options. But Pelham is the last one on our list. It is in the top 5, according to niche.com. And let's talk about the travel time for you. Okay, so your travel time with Pelham that you can expect if you're living in Pelham, if you pick that area, here's Pelham right here. Your travel time will be about 20 to 28 minutes to downtown Birmingham, to UAB. Usually plug that in there. And it really depends on where area you're coming from. But if you're also going to continue traveling on to the airport, you're looking at about 30 minutes to head on. Airport's not much further than downtown, but you will get more house for the money, of course. And Pelham is also a very well-developed city and very loved as well. So that rounds up or sums up the top 5 that niche.com listed. And stay tuned because I've got some more videos coming on each one of these cities: Mountain Brook, Homewood, Vestavia Hills, Pelham. And then we'll also go over the last 5 of the top 10 on niche.com.